The lethargic dog refused to relinquish his spot on the sofa.
What does that mean?
The energetic dog didn't want to get off the sofa. He didn't want to give up his spot.
The lethargic dog refused to relinquish his spot on the sofa.
Or what does that mean?
I don't know, bro.
The chauffeur could not articulate this anomaly to his confidence.
What does that mean?
I don't know, but I could read it.
I'm not so sure about that. Can teenagers still read? That's the question millions of people are asking after a high school student started going viral for walking around school and asking fellow students to read difficult English sentences and explain what they mean. And what makes these videos so interesting isn't necessarily whether students can pronounce the words. A lot of them actually can. The real issue is comprehension, because eventually these teenagers become adults, employees, voters, and parents themselves.
Read the index card.
The lethargic dog refused to relinquish his spot on the sofa.
What does that mean?
The energetic dog didn't want to get off the sofa. He didn't want to give up his spot.
The lethargic dog refused. The lethargic dog refused to relinquish his spot on the sofa.
Or what does that mean?
I don't know, bro.
The lethargic dog refused to relinquish his spot on the sofa.
What does that mean?
It's like basically like the tired, lazy type dog refused to relinquish it. This doesn't even make sense, bro. This isn't right. This doesn't add up, bro. But it's not what this means.
What does it mean?
A lethargic dog refused to relinquish his spot on the sofa. Why would the lethargic dog refuse to relinquish his spot on the sofa? Like, grammatically, that's wrong. The dog is tired and all that. So why would he refuse to relinquish his spot on the sofa?
What does relinquish mean?
It means to relinquish means to let go of lay down, like chill out on type bit.
The lethargic dog refused to relinquish his spot on the sofa.
What does that mean?
So lethargic is like, oh, you're drowsy, or like you can't really, you're not really there because you're so tired, or relinquish. I'm pretty sure that mean I forgot exactly, but in this context, I'm pretty sure that means get up or save his spot. The dog was so tired, he didn't want to get up off the sofa.
What stands out immediately in this video is that most of these students can technically read the sentence. That's important. This is not a phonics disaster where nobody can sound out the words. Most of them decode reasonably well. The issue is vocabulary depth and comprehension. One student reads everything smoothly but thinks lethargic means energetic. Basically the opposite meaning. Another student laughs his way through the sentence, eventually reads it correctly, but then admits he has no idea what it means. Then another student suddenly says the sentence doesn't add up because he gets confused by one part of it. And honestly, I think that reaction is incredibly revealing. I think phones and short form content play a role in this. Kids today consume enormous amounts of content, but much of it requires almost no sustained concentration. Reading longer or more complex sentences requires mental stamina. At the same time, I don't think this is only the school's fault. Reading starts at home long before students enter classrooms. Kids grow up around books, conversations, storytelling, and parents reading with them usually develop stronger vocabularies naturally over time. The final student does really well. She doesn't know every word perfectly, but she uses context clues intelligently and figures the sentence out anyway. That's what good readers do. Strong readers are not people who magically know every word. They know how to think through language. That's a skill many students seem to be missing now. Let's take a look at some of the comments. The sleepy dog refused to give up his spot on the sofa. That's it. That's what it means. How does lethargic equate to energetic? Hey, let's keep the schools open this summer. Homie knows lethargic, but not relinquish. Thank you to the girl who used context clues. Reading is one thing, comprehension is another.
Read the index card.
This chauffeur could not articulate this anomaly to his confidence.
Are you sure?
What does that mean?
I don't know what it means. The chauffeur could not couldn't specify. I don't know the end. I don't know the rest.
The chauffeur could not articulate this anomaly to his confidence.
What does that mean?
No, like,
The chauffeur could not articulate this anomaly to his confidant.
what does that mean?
Like he couldn't really explain. He couldn't explain what was happening to the person he driving around.
The chauffeur could not articulate this anomaly to his confidant.
What does it mean?
The chauffeur, the driver, could not describe what was going on to his friend.
The chauffeur could not articulate this anomaly to his confidant.
What does that mean?
I don't know, but I could read it.
I'm not so sure about that. Almost every important word here is advanced vocabulary. Chauffeur, articulate, anomaly, confidant. But again, what fascinates me is how many students can pronounce the words reasonably well while still struggling to explain the meaning. One student reads almost everything fluently but says she doesn't know what the sentence means. Another reads it well and completely gives up without even attempting comprehension. One student slowly works through it and correctly identifies that articulate means explaining something. Another girl reads extremely slowly, mispronounces anomaly, but still manages to piece together the meaning of the sentence correctly. And honestly, that's impressive. Because comprehension matters more than speed. I'd much rather see a student slowly think through a difficult sentence than confidently read words without understanding them. Students who are willing to struggle through confusion usually improve. Students who avoid difficulty often stay stuck. Let's take a look at some of the comments. Confident versus confidant. I don't know, but I can read it. Babe, you're not off the hook. The fourth struggled a little with pronunciation, but got the explanation spot on. Y'all make me feel smart. Only one person knowing the word confidant is wild. And I think this is where reading habits become crucial. Kids who regularly read books encounter thousands of unfamiliar words over time. Their brains become comfortable with context clues and ambiguity. Students who rarely read often panic when they encounter unfamiliar language because they simply haven't had enough exposure. This is why teachers constantly encourage reading outside of class. Not because reading is old-fashioned, but because vocabulary, comprehension, focus, writing ability, and even critical thinking all develop through reading. The good news is that literacy can improve. Students can catch up. Vocabulary can grow, confidence can grow, but it takes reading consistently, engaging with longer content, and actually exercising the brain beyond endless scrolling. Let me know what you think in the comments down below.